Hello and welcome to another Writerly Witterings with me, Michael Jex, the tea drinking author who's not got a cup right now, but I'll get one later. Today, I promised this last week, I'm going to talk a little bit about two keyboards because what an exciting life I have. I am waiting on the delivery of a BYOK. It's a BYOK, Bring Your Own Keyboard. Now, what is it? It's a new device for authors, sort of like an Astra House Freewrite type device. The idea is that it's about the size of an iPhone and it's effectively a screen. But behind the screen there's a lot of clever stuff. So it's got a clever suite of software. I've been playing with the BYOK app on my iMac for the last few days, and there are a lot of features I'm really quite enjoying. Similar to the Astro House, it's designed to be a completely distraction-free resource for authors. So you can't send emails, surf the web or anything like that. It's just a really smart text editing device, but with a good filing system behind it, and it's designed so that you can have chapters with a chapter synopsis and you can move and merge chapters, and there's a lot going on inside it which is very appealing. But the main thing about BYOK, B-Y-O-K, is that it is just this little device. Now, how are you going to get words onto it? Well, you bring your own keyboard, BYOK. Isn't that clever? So it is quite an appealing idea. I have spoken before about the attractions of being able to type on a device like the Astra House Freewrite that has no distractions. I find, for example, I am now recording this on my iPhone. I just had 2 notifications come up on the screen. That's distracting. It's not ideal. A device that you can be typing on without any distractions and turn notifications off on your iPhone or whatever it might be is very appealing. But I basically decided I need to get a new keyboard so that I can test the BYOK, and at the same time I can use it on my iPad and iPhone and other devices. So, great. I spoke to those very nice people at the keyboard company. They're the people who supplied me with my absolutely wonderful, got to pick it up now, it's not light, this, not so easy, but this is my Keychron Q8. It is wonderful. It's V-shaped so that while you're typing, your wrists stay straight. Is that a little bit of clever marketing and stuff? No. For me, I've had problems with both elbows. I've had to have operations on both because of what's called cubital tunnel syndrome. You'll probably have heard of carpal tunnel syndrome. Lots of people get that, where they have to have the carpal tunnels cleaned and decoked. Well, I had the same thing, but with the cubital tunnel. And this is apparently a bit of a problem because when you're typing, your wrists are at an angle so that your fingers can hit a straight keyboard. So I have V-shaped keyboards so that my fingers can be straight in line with the wrist. Boring. But I spoke to Bruce Whiting, the managing director at the keyboard company. Lovely bloke. He's been involved in keyboards, I assume, most of his working life. And he suggested that since I knew the Keychron, maybe I should look at something that was one of their newer devices. Here it is. The Keychron B1 Pro, I think it's called, just check it. Yes. Which is very slim, very much like the Apple Clever keyboard, except it hasn't got a finger sensor. So it's only cheap, it's only 40 odd pounds. And it has the same layout with the European large size carriage return, and the Apple layout so that the @ key is up here on a 2 and the 2 quote marks, single and double, are in the same point. So I thought, yeah, that makes sense. But while I was chatting to him, he suggested that there was another keyboard that his company makes which might be more suitable. And it's here. Why is it more suitable? Well, for one thing, it comes in its own little case. Isn't that neat? So you can just throw it in a bag and it's very convenient. And also, when you lift the back up, oops, so I should have shown that more carefully. So you've got this magnetic flap which locks. If you undo the flap, it becomes a stand for your phone or iPad, which I thought was rather neat. And it's a perfectly acceptable little keyboard, but I took one look at it and I thought, that's a problem. I think I'd better stick to my Keychron, because look at the size of the enter key. It's an American standard, which is fine, but not quite what I'm used to. And I thought, in terms of keyboard mapping, the Keychron would be easier to get on with. Now, I should just say, Bruce didn't send these free of charge as free gifts. What he did was, he sent me both. I bought this one, and then he said if I wanted to test this, I could pick which one I wanted to keep and send the other one back, which I thought was jolly reasonable. So what do I like about this? Well, it comes with its own little latex cover, which is upside down currently. So let's put it on the right way up. So you can, if you're in a messy environment, type with this on. I've been using this because if you've been watching my videos, you know I'm having a new kitchen put in, and that means there's been dust everywhere. So having this has been really very useful. So as I say, when the two keyboards arrived, I immediately knew this was the one I was going to pick. So what do I like about it? Well, I've actually made notes here. I'm doing this sort of professionally today. So I was going to pick one or the other of these. So the Keychron has standard European layout. There's no adjustment on the rake. It is that angle, whether you like it or not. It does have this little latex cover, which I don't use it when I'm typing because I find it just gets in the way, but when I'm not typing, it's brilliant. It has 3 lights up here. It has the on switch. It has a converter between Mac and Windows switch. Oh, sorry. Mac and Windows switch on cable and 24G switch. Don't know what the 24G is, but never mind. It has the cable hole here, and that is either for if you're typing straight onto the computer, having it wired, or just to charge it. It has 3 lights here. One is, I'm going to have to remind myself, I've already forgotten all these. It's typical, isn't it? You look at these things and then you get confused. So it has 1 light which is for caps lock. It's got another light which shows when it's being charged, and it's got a 3rd light which shows whether you're Bluetooth connecting or what you're doing. So it's got 3 little lights, very convenient. Very convenient having the on switch at the back here too. That's nice. So what else is there to say? There isn't really much. It's a very good looking keyboard. Now, I've been typing with this for several days and I get on very well with it. The keys are a little bit spongy. Not too bad. They are scissor buttons apparently, but they're not perfect. And then last night I thought, well, Bruce sent me the 2, so I thought I might just as well try out the second one. And I was surprised. Okay, here we go with the second one. Undo it, and you can open up the device. I'm going to take the backing off the little case. I really love that little case. That is very convenient. Now look at this. Talk about slim. There's next to nothing of it. What is there? Well, there's the charging cable here. Disappointing. That's a USB micro type cable, whereas this is USB-C modern type. I was surprised at that, but you know, hey ho. You have a switch, on-off switch at the back underneath, and it's got this, I think, frankly horrible US type layout. But the keys are incomparable. These are bloody lovely to use. There's a little bit more resistance. They're not spongy. You can feel as soon as the key has actuated, and it makes a little noise. Now, if you've ever heard me talk about keyboards before, a little noise I love. Might drive other people nuts in a coffee bar, but tell them to go and find a seat further away if they don't like it. These are lovely keys. Let me just demonstrate the difference there. Much quieter, much more sort of rubbery, I guess. Only one indicator light on this. That shows when the battery's low, it shows when it's charging, it shows when it's on Bluetooth. Clever that it can get so much done. And an absolute doddle to Bluetooth connect. You've got a choice of iOS standard, Android standard, Win standard. Don't know what the Win is, but never mind. But basically, I started using this last night, and within 10-15 minutes, I wrote a letter to Bruce saying, I just love this. I'm going to keep this one and send back the Keychron. Which was fine. I did a lot of typing, figured out that that was definitely the right one for me, and life was good. So I picked it as my favourite, and then I did a bit more typing, and I moved from my iPad to my iPhone. And that's when the problems started, because this can only connect to one Bluetooth device. So you want to move from your iPhone to an iPad, or to a BYOC, or to my iMac. You have to log out of what it's attached to currently and re-log into the Bluetooth on the other device. Is that a great problem for most people? No, of course not. But it is for me, because I like using multiple different devices, and if I've got to cancel out of Bluetooth with each of them and then reconnect with each of them, it takes that little bit of extra time, and it's a pain, frankly. I don't need that sort of hassle. There's one other thing that is, to my way of thinking, bloody annoying. That is this on-off switch. Because, as I say, it's underneath. Let's just give an example. Here it is in its little case. Open it up and try to not let the magnet go straight back. So you have your keyboard. Now, you will probably have it set up like this so that you can store your phone resting on the back. So you have it sitting on your lap or on a desk. How do you turn it on? You have to lift it off all of that, lift it up to reach there to turn the power button on, and then put it back down on your desk. And Yes, that's a little thing, but it's an irritating thing. Let's compare it with the Keychron. The on button is right at the back. You put it on your lap, you put it on your desk, you flick the button, it's on. That's it. Now, that I find more appealing. The other thing, though, is, I've got to be careful here, there's a function key here, and then 1, 2, 3. And you can see there's a little Bluetooth label on the 1, 2 and 3. That's because you can have 3 devices attached to this. So I can have this talking to my iPad, press function 2, and it'll take me straight through to my iPhone and start talking to that. In a little while time, when I get my BIOC, I'll press function 3, and that will take me to the BIOC. In fact, probably I'll have function 1 set up for the BIOC, function 2 for the phone, function 3 for the iPad, because that's probably the order I'd be using them in. But much more easy, much more straightforward. This is also fully programmable. Keychron are extremely keen on allowing you to change things around as you want. So that's good. Good news, you can actually program it to do various things. I like the fact it's got the 3 indicator lights. I like the fact it is very light, it is very small, and it's got a sensible on-off switch as well as a standard USB-C plug-in, which makes life a little bit more sensible. If you're a bit wary, it comes with its own little dongle that you can plug into your laptop or whatever you're using, and it will transmit to that as a Bluetooth receiver. And if you're really keen, you can use it with a latex cover, if you're keen or if you're that way inclined. So yes, as of this morning, I've now decided that last night's email to Bruce was completely wrong, and actually this is the one I'm going to keep. The keys are not as good, but I'm going to be using this on trains, in coffee bars, in strange alternative places. And realistically, am I going to notice the less good key function compared to the other one? No, I don't think so. Once I've got this and I'm just using this full time, it'll be perfectly fine and easy to use. I wish it was V-shaped, but I think V-shaped portable lightweight keyboards are very, very rare and hard to come by. And there you go. I'm going to have to make a little sleeve for it, I think, to protect it slightly when I throw it into a backpack. I'm really looking forward to testing it with the BIOC. That's going to be great fun, I think. And yeah, there you go. So advantages of this: slightly better layout, far better positioning of the on-off switch, better type of cable connection, and the fact that I can switch from different screens really easily. Advantages of this: if you're only going to use it with one device, such as your computer, or you're going to use it with your phone or an iPad or similar sort of device, if you're used to an American standard keyboard outlook, and if you really want the better keyboard, I think this is the better choice. I am disappointed that you don't have the option of programming it to be able to go to 2 or 3 different Bluetooth devices. That would have been better. I don't like the position of the on-off switch. That irritates me. The cable, yeah, you can get used to that. But the keys on this really are glorious. They're a great deal better. And that is my summary for you. This is the one to be kept, looked after carefully. and typed on regularly. Now, I have also recently been sent a number of different devices for writing with, and I am going to be talking about them next week. So if you're interested in fountain pens and fine liners and that sort of thing, watch this space in a week's time. That's all for now. Thanks ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Do please hit the like button and subscribe and all the other stuff. If you've got any questions about keyboards or writing or anything else, please put them in the bottom, because the more comments there are, the better apparently the algorithm treats my YouTube videos. And apart from all that, for now, thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. If you want to drop a token into the Buy Me a Coffee campaign, you can do. If you want to join my Patreon, you can do. And for now, that's all. I'm going to go. Thanks a lot for watching. Speak to you soon. Time for a cup of tea.